So now what I have here is a different part of the passage that applies to these questions. Question number 18. The author's attitude towards the downtown ecosystem in line 48 is best described as one of, let's take a look. Look at the energy sources of the downtown ecosystem. Well, of course, downtown ecosystem is a city, because the author's point is that cities are natural systems. Downtown is in a city. So the author's attitude is described as positive. He likes it. He thinks they're good. Let's look at the one that says positive. Regret, it's negative. Frustration is negative. Ambivalence feels neither positive or negative or both at the same time. Unconcerned, no, he clearly has a point of view. Appreciation, that's positive. All right. The three levels discussed in lines 57 through 81 are served primarily to. Let's take a look at this. It starts by saying, a glimpse of downtown, in fact, illustrates that the city can be thought of as a natural system on at least three different levels. All right. At the most obvious level, although we normally don't think in these terms, a city is an ecosystem, a natural system, such as a salt marsh or a forest. And it operates in pretty much the same way as any other ecosystem. So he's just going on with cities are natural. Now let's look at the different levels. At a somewhat deeper level, a natural ecosystem is a powerful metaphor for understanding how cities work. Again, cities are natural. And then let's just come up to here. We're looking for three more levels. Finally, up here, our cities are like every other natural system. So the three levels are supporting the author's main point, that cities are natural systems. So it looks like the answer is A. It's several arguments, several reasons in support of a fundamental claim. Now, the fundamental claim is the author's fundamental point, that cities are natural systems and they're good. Now, let's look at the other answers. Organize the author's opinions from most to least important. No. He doesn't rank his points in terms of importance. Illustrate a process of reasoning from initial assertion to ultimate conclusion. Not really. It's seductive, but not really. D. Group hypotheses that address two opposing principles. No, it's only 1 point. Compare alternative theories proposed by the scientific community. No, if he's comparing theories at all, it's when he talks about the other people who think cities are bad earlier on. So which is better, A or C? We've already said that it's A, but he's not really talking about his process of reasoning there. He's not illustrating his process of reasoning. He's really giving you three different reasons in support of why cities are natural systems. It's a better answer. Now the next question, number 20. In line 63, peculiar most nearly means. The main idea doesn't really apply here. Here's the start of the sentence. A city operates in pretty much the same way as any other ecosystem with its own peculiar collection of fauna and flora, or flora and fauna. Now, flora and fauna are a detail that if you don't know what those words mean, it doesn't really matter. Now let's put these words back in. Eccentric, if you know what that means, it means weird. Is it weird? I don't know. That's a judgment. And they're not going to really have a judgment in here. They're not going to ask you to make a judgment. And the author certainly doesn't think that they're weird. Abnormal, the author doesn't think that they're abnormal. So that's not going to be the answer. Rare, does that make sense? Its own rare collection of flora and fauna. And cities are pretty common, and the stuff that's in cities is really not that rare. Let's leave it in for a second. distinctive, with its own distinctive collection of flora and fauna. That looks like it might be an answer. Significant. Why would it be significant? The author probably thinks it's a significant point, but peculiar doesn't mean significant here in this sentence. Which is better, rare or distinctive? It's clearly distinctive. If that throws you a little bit with the vocabulary and context, just practice and keep learning vocabulary. It's really the way to go. 21. The author's attitude towards the subfield in line 65. A subfield of science called urban ecology, devoted to understanding it. This way of looking at cities has recently received the ultimate academic accolade, the creation of a subfield of science called urban ecology. This way is his way. He's going to like it. So the author's attitude has to be positive. That's approval. It's not curiosity. It's not uncertainty. It's not surprise. And it's not dismay. 22. The discussion of the forest ecosystem in lines 67 through 73. That's the last paragraph at the bottom. I'm going to clear all the markup here so that you can see this more easily. If you needed to go back and look at those other answers to the other questions, go ahead and just rewind the video for a little bit. I just want to be able to show you more clearly that bottom paragraph. So the forest ecosystem, a natural ecosystem like a forest, is a powerful metaphor in understanding how cities work. So it's a metaphor in understanding how cities work. So is a metaphor a defense? No. Is it a concession? No. Is it a comparison? Yes, that's what a metaphor means. An exception? No. An illusion? No. Question 23. The discussion of limits in lines 74 through 81. So here we are. Finally, our cities are like every other natural system in that at bottom they operate according to a few well-defined laws of nature. There is, for example, a limit to how high a tree can grow. Okay, so a few laws of nature, and their limit is a law of nature, and another limit to how high a wood building can be built. So what is it? It's cities have the ability to grow and change? No. Cities are larger than they need to be? No. Cities must be self-regulating in order to survive? No. Human efforts to conquer nature tend to backfire? No. It's that natural principles significantly affect human endeavors. In this case, the human endeavor is a city. In the final paragraph, question number 24. So let me state this explicitly. A city is a natural system, and we can study it in the same way we study other natural systems and how they got to be the way they are. So he's summing up his main idea. So A says, restate the elements of a dilemma. Well, a dilemma is not the main idea. You might look at it because of restate, but that's not right. Summarize the author's evidence. Now that seems like it might possibly be an answer, because it's a summary of what the author is saying. Let's leave it in. Heighten an emotional impact. Now that's not what we said. Suggest a focus for further research. He's tying it up. He's not opening it up. So that's not right. And emphasize the author's position. So it's really E is better than B. It's not summarizing his evidence. He's really restating his main point. Another way to say that's emphasize the author's position. So just to recap, there's some details here, some words that you might not know, some sentences that are a little bit odd. There's somebody else's position stated in addition to the author's position stated. But if you strip it away and you realize he's saying that cities are natural systems and that cities are good And then if you can also pick up that other people, not the author, think that cities are unnatural and bad, and the author obviously thinks those people are wrong, it applies to, I think, that was all but 3 of the sentences that we had here, all but 3 out of 12 sentences. So 9 out of 12, 75% directly related back to the main idea. I hope that helps. Let me know what you think. Good luck when you take your SAT.